Good evening to all of you. Today, T-Mobile announced that a proposed new call center for the Rochester area would be built in Henrietta. But the call center will only be built if federal officials approve a merger between T-Mobile and Sprint. Kayla Green joining us now live from Henrietta with updates on all this. Kayla?
Adam, the call center was first announced back in February, and officials say it will add over 1,000 jobs to our area. While some are excited for the opportunities that this could bring to Rochester, others are skeptical of what could happen if it does end up passing.
Well, honestly,
according to Leah George Van Scott, Vice President of Business Development at Rochester Greater Enterprise, this T-Mobile call center has been in the works since August. She gave them over a dozen sites to choose from, and they chose new construction in Henrietta. Van Scott says a lot went into T-Mobile's decision to come to Rochester.
Do you have the talent and the talent pipeline in place, as well as competitive wages, so that we can not only decide to be here, but be successful when we're here, not just today, but several years, decades into the future.
George Conboy, chairman of Brighton Security, says he's skeptical of the call center.
I'd like to wait and see if it actually happens. I'd like to wait and see if the jobs turn out to be good jobs as promised. And I'd like to wait and see if the call center sticks around for a while.
He says it's easy to be skeptical after Frontier announced last week they'd be cutting 280 call center jobs here in Henrietta. When that happened, Stephen Schultz, Henrietta Town Supervisor, called T-Mobile and asked if they'd consider coming in early.
You know, the hope out there that they'll be able to hire some of these people before they're even really out of work.
But in order for the call center to come, the merger between T-Mobile and Sprint has to pass. Conboy says today's announcement was a way to push it along.
And it's about T-Mobile has been dangling the promise of jobs in several states, hoping to get elected representatives to support their merger. So while they're not asking for incentives, they are indirectly asking for support to get their merger approved.
Conboy says that the merger between T-Mobile and Sprint is controversial in some circles, but he believes that it would work. He says the goal is to combine those two smaller carriers into one larger one to create more competition with AT&T and Verizon. He believes this would give consumers another option in the larger carrier area. Adam?
All right, Kayla, thank you. T-Mobile also said today in a new report that that report shows the call center would also indirectly add an additional 500 to 600 jobs. We asked GRE about this, and they told us these would largely be construction jobs for the building of the call center.